welcome to True Crime, a channel dedicated to the dark underworld of criminal activity carried out by gangsters, mobsters, cartel leaders, and others. The arrest of El Chapo's son, Arvide, ignited a series of events that turned Sinaloa into a war zone. As a key ally within the Sinaloa cartel, Arvide's vulnerability and subsequent capture created internal tensions and power struggles.
He was the world's most wanted drug trafficker. For decades, the ruthless Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán destroyed millions of lives and reaped billions of dollars.
Los Chapitos, led by Arvide's brothers, saw an opportunity to seize control and gain notoriety. Shootouts, sieges, and clashes between rival cartels ensued, causing widespread violence and chaos. The battle for dominance between the Sinaloa cartel and its rivals, such as the CJNG, escalated, transforming Sinaloa into a dangerous battleground. Let's get into it. Guzmán López, born on March 29, 1990, is the son of Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán and his second wife. Raised in Mexico City, he attended a school run by the Legionaries of Christ for 4 years until his mother withdrew him after he was excluded from a school trip by his classmates' families. According to a U.S. grand jury indictment, Guzmán López has been involved in his father's drug trafficking business since he was a teenager in 2008. The Office of Foreign Assets Control of the U.S. Department of the Treasury designated him as a key lieutenant of his father and the Sinaloa cartel under the Kingpin Act in 2012. Following his father's arrest, Guzmán López is widely reported to have assumed a prominent role within the Sinaloa cartel. In 2019, the Associated Press revealed that he leads the cartel along with his brothers Ivan Archibaldo Guzmán, Jesus Alfredo Guzmán, and Ismael Elmayo Zambada. In July 2017, a grand jury in the United States formally indicted both Ovidio Guzmán López and his brother Joaquín Guzmán López on charges related to a conspiracy to traffic cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana since 2008. The sealed indictment was filed on April 2, 2018. The indictment was unsealed on December 12, 2018, for limited disclosure in an extradition proceeding, and later fully unsealed by Judge Rudolph Contreras on February 13, 2019. Considering Guzmán López's involvement in his father's drug trafficking business and his subsequent leadership position within the Sinaloa cartel, what challenges does this present for law enforcement agencies and efforts to dismantle the cartel's operations? On October 17, 2019, Ovidio Guzmán López was briefly arrested by members of the National Guard in Culiacán, Sinaloa, which triggered intense gun battles in the city. The heavily armed cartel gunmen, numbering over 700, posed a significant threat of mass civilian casualties, including targeting the apartment complex where the relatives of local military personnel resided. In an unexpected turn of events, Ovidio Guzmán was eventually freed, with President Andrés Manuel López Obrador supporting the decision to prevent further bloodshed. However, in the following month, one of the officers involved in the arrest, Eduardo N., was assassinated. On May 8, 2020, the Mexican government froze Ovidio Guzmán's assets along with those of 330 individuals associated with the cartel, citing irregularities. Fast forward to January 5, 2023, when authorities successfully arrested Guzmán López in Culiacán's Jesus Maria district. Eyewitnesses reported that he had a family gathering the night before his arrest, and a pre-dawn raid conducted by the military swiftly apprehended him within 10 minutes. Defense Secretary Luis Crescencio Sandoval confirmed the arrest, stating that personnel from various security agencies had captured Guzmán López, who was subsequently transported to Mexico City for processing. He was then flown to a maximum security prison in Almoloya de Corres. Following the arrest, violence erupted in Sinaloa and Sonora, with reports of gunfire, roadblocks, and fires in cities like Culiacán, Los Mochis, and Gosawe. The U.S. consulate in Hermosillo issued a travel advisory cautioning against travel to Sinaloa, while Sinaloa Governor Ruben Rocha Moya urged the public to remain indoors. The unrest led to the closure of Culiacan International Airport and other affected airports, with reports of shootouts and looting. Tragically, 10 soldiers, 19 gang members, and 1 police officer lost their lives during the unrest. Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, one of the most dangerous and powerful drug traffickers in the world, held a prominent position as the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. It was no surprise that his son, Ovidio Guzmán, followed in his footsteps and became a high-ranking member of the cartel. However, Ovidio's arrest on January 5, 2023 triggered widespread unrest and bloodshed. Taking him down proved to be a Herculean task, but law enforcement ultimately succeeded in apprehending another influential member of the Sinaloa cartel. To understand how Ovidio Guzmán got caught, we must delve into his family background and his father's activities. El Chapo, born in Sinaloa in 1957, came from a humble farming family. His father's involvement in the drug trade led him to grow marijuana for local dealers during the 1970s. El Chapo then partnered with Hector Luis Palma Salazar, a rising drug lord, to transport drugs from Sinaloa to the United States. After working briefly in logistics for the Guadalajara cartel, El Chapo established his own cartel, operating under the umbrella of the Guadalajara cartel. As his influence grew, Ovidio Guzmán was born in 1990 and later joined his father in the cartel. A U.S. grand jury indictment revealed that Ovidio joined the cartel in 2008 at the young age of 18. El Chapo's tactics involved potentially selling out his rivals to the D in exchange for protection, which played a significant role in maintaining his position at the top. However, this action created a rift between the Sinaloa cartel and the Beltran Leyva brothers, who are high-ranking lieutenants within the cartel. The conflict intensified after the brothers declared war on El Chapo and attempted to assassinate one of the cartel head's sons. The violence escalated, leading to an unprecedented level of bloodshed in Culiacan and other cities. In response, the United States sanctioned the Beltran Leyva brothers under the Kingpin Act, freezing their assets and prohibiting any business dealings with them. Ovidio joined the Sinaloa cartel during this period of conflict with the Beltran Leyva brothers, the Gulf Cartel, and Los Zetas. Between 2008 and 2012, Ovidio worked tirelessly to establish himself as a major player within the Sinaloa cartel. However, the Office of Foreign Assets Control eventually sanctioned both the cartel and El Chapo under the Kingpin Act, impacting not only the leader but also his family. The situation only worsened from there. In 2014, when El Chapo was arrested for the second time, Mexican law enforcement executed a meticulously coordinated operation to apprehend the notorious kingpin. From the Mexican Navy to the D and the U.S. Marshals Service, multiple agencies collaborated to bring El Chapo down. The arrest was considered a significant triumph for the Mexican government, and El Chapo was paraded before the media in a highly publicized press conference. However, even in the confines of a maximum security prison, El Chapo's influence persisted. After a year of confinement, he orchestrated a daring escape through an underground tunnel. Meanwhile, Ovidio Guzmán, one of El Chapo's children and a key figure in the Sinaloa cartel, played a crucial role in maintaining stability within the organization during his father's absence. As El Chapo's third arrest loomed, Ovidio was thrust into a leadership position alongside his brothers and Ishmael El Mayo Zambada. With the U.S. targeting Ovidio and Joaquín Guzmán in a grand jury indictment, the spotlight shifted to Ovidio as a central figure within the Sinaloa cartel. In October 2019, a judge in the United States issued an extradition warrant for Ovidio, leading to a high-stakes operation to apprehend him in Culiacan. However, this operation unleashed unprecedented chaos as the cartel unleashed its fury on the city, causing widespread violence and instability. The events that unfolded exposed the formidable power of the Sinaloa cartel, leaving the Mexican government and President Andrés Manuel López Obrador in a challenging position. While the president justified his decision to prioritize civilian lives over capturing one drug lord, critics argued that the government had underestimated the strength of the cartel. The aftermath of Ovidio's release underscored the continued dominance of the Sinaloa cartel and raised questions about the effectiveness of the government's strategy against drug cartels. Amidst the power struggle between El Mayo and El Chapo's children, tensions grew, leading to clashes within the cartel. With the Sinaloa cartel still wielding immense power and the dynamics within the organization becoming increasingly complex, the future remained uncertain. It's hard to disagree with the assessment that El Mayo was clearly vulnerable, and taking out one of his longest and most important allies would strongly benefit Los Chapitos. Internal tensions were at an all-time high, leading to a shootout between both sides in Culiacan, resulting in 16 deaths. Los Chapitos continued to gain notoriety in 2021 and 2022, expanding their influence in the Sinaloa cartel. In February 2022, a small army loyal to Los Chapitos laid siege to the municipality of Caborca near the U.S.-Mexico border, causing casualties and kidnappings. This bold move may be a little surprising to some, considering that the CJNG had previously kidnapped two of El Chapo's sons in 2016. However, El Chapo made a deal with the CJNG to spare their lives. The CJNG had significantly benefited from the internal war between El Mayo and Los Chapitos, claiming territory and operating in the same market as the Sinaloa cartel. The CJNG, led by the notorious El Mencho, specialized in trafficking synthetic drugs like methamphetamine. The arrest of El Chapo's son, Arvide, in Culiacan on January 5, 2023 was accompanied by carnage and bloodshed, reminiscent of the 2019 battle. Mexican forces, supported by local authorities, apprehended Arvide and transferred him to Mexico City, but the battle was far from over. Shootouts and violence erupted in multiple locations, with the cartel attacking law enforcement and shutting down the Culiacan International Airport. The city and neighboring areas experienced fires, roadblocks, and intense clashes. Despite the turmoil, Arvide's capture was a massive win for the Mexican and American governments in their war on drugs. The Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctioned everyone involved in providing the Sinaloa cartel with drug manufacturing ingredients, and the U.S. Secretary of State emphasized efforts to disrupt and dismantle transnational criminal organizations. With Arvide out of the picture, the Sinaloa cartel is now led by El Mayo and Arvide's brothers, Jesus Alfredo Guzmán and Ivan Archibaldo Guzmán Salazar, who have called a truce with El Mencho's CJNG. Thank you for watching another amazing video from our true crime team. Like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned to our next real-life true crime video.